Hello everyone, Matt Carrera back for another HCM Vlogs, tips and tools of the day. Today we're going to be touching on orientation programs, the importance of them, what they are, and why we do them. Orientation programs are day one journey all the way through 60 or 90 days. This allows for you as an organization, especially a healthcare organization, to set the employee up for the best success possible. You performing an orientation program and giving them the proper detail during their first part of their journey will allow for them to adapt, learn the mission statements, philosophies, long and short-term goals of the organization. By the employee being more prepared, more trained, and properly invested in, it'll have a direct effect on the patients. Once the patients see that there's an employee who doesn't understand what's going on, whether it's a particular test or a front desk duty or a billing item, it really puts the accountability on the organization. The more that you invest within the employee and you spend time to train them on particular programs, whether it's an EMR system, whether it's particular clinical tests that you run at the organization, it could be a confirmation software system the front desk uses. The more you train them on how to use them, the better prepared they are when they leave the orientation period. This will cause a direct effect on turnover. This will reduce the amount of turnover an organization has. I've seen programs in place where it's very lackadaisical and they don't invest in the employee. These employees usually tend to quit, leave, be frustrated, go to another organization. I've seen programs where you go in depth and you go over the top to ensure that the employee is handheld in the first 90 days. However, working them off, being weaned off the handholding, these employees typically tend to stay around a lot longer. You can ideally create a checklist, or you could use their job description and go through. The supervisor can check off when they complete something under supervision. This way, at that time, if they're completing the task and it's not done properly, you can work it out with the employee at that moment in time. They're not creating their own habits. They're not creating their own mindset on how something could be done. This is the most important part because now the employee knows that they can ask questions and they can learn from their mistakes in the first 90 days. You're also setting a precedent in 90 days. You're allowing the employee to understand that after 90 days is when we expect for you to hopefully be off of your orientation program. At this point, the organization can gear and say, okay, we need to extend the employee's probation period orientation, or, you're set to go. We can remove you off and you can be set at full job duties, come 91 days. These are just quick tips and tools on orientation programs. We can dive into this on an extended video in a much greater detail. I think it's important that before they even meet with their supervisor or manager or senior staff member for their orientation, the first couple days during orientation is spent on the administrative end of things. It's important they go through HR, they understand the handbook policies, they have the proper education on the office and practice. As mentioned before, they understand office practice policies, office hours, the doctors' names in the organization, the hierarchy chart. It's important they understand who the owners of the organization are, who the administrators are, the managers that trickle all the way down. At this point, they know who they report to on a daily basis. Tips and tools for orientation programs. If you'd like to learn more, I have customized orientation programs that I have created. Message me after the video and we can talk more. Thanks again, Matt Carrera.